Welcome to Minor Disturbance Radio, episode 8. And today, apparently, my co-host Jeff is out on assignment. He's on a butterfly excursion or something. So, anyway, I just wanted to take a second before I start the show. I spent most of the day feeling pretty down because I woke up this morning to the news of one of my good buddies, Eric Kramer, was killed in a car accident on the way to work this morning. And that information came to me and pretty much wrecked my day until I thought about it and realized that this person that I loved that passed away would be standing right here in my face saying, Brian, you go on with your life, buddy, and you do things that you love to do because it can be gone in an instant. And so he's with me here tonight in spirit. And also, I'm cracking one for you, Eric. This one's for you, baby. And, that's what you got to do sometimes. You put that energy out there and hopefully in some way or another, maybe that energy comes back to you and joins you again somewhere. That's all I can hope for.
So I'm having
what
problems.
I was getting at a long time ago before I started talking way too much is I had singers around me back in the day that taught me how to do backups.
Hey,
because I
wait.
Whoa! Hey! Bam! For those of you new to the show,
I'm empty.
back in the day means everybody drank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it reminds me of my koozies here. We got Minor Disturbance Radio koozies with back in the day.
I don't have one of
I'll
those.
drink. You will at the end of the show.
All right, sweet.
If we make it to the end of the show.
My point was, I was around a lot of people that sang that taught me how to sing backups then. And what they would tell me is, act like there's no singer. You need to find a version of the song that's just you singing. And what you were talking about with...
That's what Jose's going to do for me.
Right. Because somebody that's new at doing backups, they're initially going to go right to matching their note or hitting an octave of it.
Yeah, unison.
Right.
Yeah.
Or unison or an octave, because you don't feel comfortable grabbing them weird things that you're not, that are, they're easier to sound out of tune with.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. You can hit that all you want.
I'm going to pull that
Sorry,
sock
man.
right off of there and stuff it in your face.
I did
Sorry,
that like
man.
5 times when I was sitting over there. So
Okay.
And it really doesn't come through like you think it does.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
But
It's all right.
But this does. Matt Finn.
Oh my God.
That's right. I hope he watches it.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Matt. I don't even know you.
Give this guy.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
You
kidding.
give this guy beer.
Yeah. You know what? Matt Finn.
Watch out.
Matt Finn never answered one question. I agree.
He didn't either.
Let me explain something to you. Right now, Mike Freeberg is gone.
He is?
Yeah.
You don't know this guy?
Oh, I know him.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've met him, but I
I've
haven't.
met him.
I haven't?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so you're
Mike
saying
Freeberg not here anymore.
he's drunk?
This is Mark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's Mark?
Mark Stinger.
It's my alter ego.
What? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You have an alter ego for real?
I can see it in his eyes. He's here.
Yep.
And his name is Mark?
Yeah.
Muscle Milk Mark Stinger.
Yeah,
is
that's
his
me.
full name.
That's me. I wrestled professionally for quite a few years, but no.
Seriously, no, seriously, man. You guys
I'm
got me on the ropes here, man.
Yeah,
'cause-
no, this is real. This is real. My wife will attest to that. I do have a different persona about me when I drink a little bit. I'm a little less reserved.
Okay. I like that, though. Does
Yeah.
this...
And
does
see,
this
we
new-
just kind of named that part of
Yeah.
Mike. We named it
Mark?
Mark Stinger.
Okay, does Mark...
'Cause
I
he's
just want to know...
He's
I
way
wanna make
more
sure,
outgoing.
I want
He's
to make
way
sure
more-
that Mark Stinger likes Brian Minor.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to fight in any way.
No
stab
atomic elbow
or,
drops coming your way.
Any violent actions you don't want to do to...
Nope.
Okay, good.
Nope.
Well, then I like Mark Stinger. Muscle Milk Mark Stinger.
Muscle Milk Mark Stinger.
Just a little. I'll be a little quicker to tell you what I think than Mike Freeberg would.
Well, I like that guy.
Yeah.
But I might not ask you what you think about anything. That might be scary.
Perfect.
Because here it comes. What do you think of Dusty's hairdo?
Oh man.
I think Dusty's hairdo is really just. It's really.
We got Dana White here with us. We're going to talk UFC.
I think he threw in the towel. He threw in the towel, and that's what he came up with.
You guys.
Oh man.
Do you see? Usually guys that are bald like you, Dusty, they wear them caps to make it look like they have hair. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what you do it for?
No, I like it, man. I
think you look
bald.
great in that thing. I can't wear one of them stupid things.
Thanks, man.
Let me see that thing.
All right, yeah.
I'll show you how.
You definitely can't wear something that says
This is why I
Chicago
can't wear
Cubs.
this kind of shit. Watch.
Chicago Cubs fan.
I'll show you guys.
Brian Miner.
I'll show you guys. Watch this.
Chibato! Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Hey, vato. Yeah, this is what I would look like. So, and actually, after a while, it starts to creep up on my head like this. So, actually,
You kind of look like a wizard.
I end up looking like this, and my wife loves it.
Yeah?
No, she hates it. Every time she sees one of them things, she's like, "You cannot have it." Because I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna buy this one. It's cool. It's got like the Redskins on it." She's like, "You look like a dumbass with them things on your head, Brian." Because my head's really narrow up here, so that it goes whoop.
The hair does funny stuff though when it comes out of the hat.
Yeah, I think so.
And you shouldn't get rid of the hair, so don't wear the hat.
Yeah, but see, Dusty can get away with that stuff. I'm gonna throw something a little different into the mix here, and we're gonna get to playing a song here from another local band.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping for that. Yeah.
Do we get to talk about it?
If you
Like
want,
Beavis and Butthead?
Was that a bear?
if you want, if you guys want, that's fine. All right. No, you guys can laugh all you want.
Was
But
that
I'm
a
gonna try.
bear?
I'm gonna find something here. Watch this.
I
I think I just changed the playlist.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You just broke into the mainframe there?
Don't be making fun of the kind of music I have either. Check this out.
Whoa, dude.
What
Look
was it?
out.
Oh, I
Look
saw
out.
it.
No, let's do this one.
Oh my God, are you
What?
kidding me?
Yes.
No, the other one.
Wow. You know there's a video for this.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dude, my wife and I went
Eats
to
the burrito?
Yeah.
we went to almost every fucking Mariana show.
Yeah.
In the quad. That's
when
how I met him.
Yeah.
Fucking loved these guys. Loved them.
Wow. It's kind of weird to hear this right
Yeah.
now.
All because Travis and Worm always brought way too much gear.
Yeah. Strong.
This music is all Travis Williams, man.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Travis too. Let's talk about Travis.
Let's listen to this tune real quick. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, sorry. We had a hard time during that whole song, like not wanting to just sit here and talk. I had to keep telling everybody, man, save it for when the song's over. But that was Marianis, and the song is called Torn, right?
Yeah.
And that was a band that you were in previous to 1152.
Correct, yeah.
With Travis Williams, who's like probably one of the smartest, best dudes on the face of the fucking planet.
He wrote that song, the lyrics, the guitar work, everything. He basically, that band, he wrote everything. There's a couple songs that I did the vocals on, and actually I guess we did play one of my songs.
Yes, you did.
But the majority of almost 99.5% of Marianis is Travis Williams.
Yeah, and what a talented kid.
Stud.
Just could do anything he wants.
Can't say enough good things about Travis Williams. Can't. No one can.
I agree.
No one can. He's not from this planet. Did you know that?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Yeah. Carry some kryptonite around him once. You'll see.
Really? Yeah. Wow. It's funny when you get two super smart dudes
talented
together in the same room. Like I'd bring my buddy Jerry Freeze around, who's totally another gearhead.
Love Jerry Freeze.
Or the conversation. This is my favorite conversation in the world that I would never want to hear ever in my life is Travis Williams, Worm, and Jerry Freeze talking about tubes. I couldn't.
I've heard that conversation so many times, dude.
That conversation, I'm like,
right?
You know what I mean?
They love it. They
love it, man. And they know too much shit about it. I know that if I turn my amp on and them two red lights turn on, man, that's good.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Me too.
And then, and that's a pretty good sign. And then if you plug the guitar in and you strum a chord and it goes
big crunch, good.
And you go, yep.
It's good.
And if you told me there were tubes in there, I'd be like, all right. I believe you. That's just too intelligent for me because they know every component. Name 3 components of a tube. Yeah, exactly.
Glass.
Globe.
Light. There's the 3 parts of
Prongs.
Prongs, yes.
That got to go in a certain way. That's all we know.
Yeah, and you can't put it in the wrong way.
No.
Because it's keyed.
Yeah.
So
Right?
you can't screw it up.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I've looked in there before. I'm like, oh, so there's like 4. Is there 4 big tubes and then like 2 little tubes?
Sure, for a 100-watt amp. Well, if you're using 6L6s, yeah.
See?
Or
See? He knows.
EL34s,
He knows.
yeah.
So
He knows.
yeah, see, he's one of them guys. Then he's hung around with them too much.
He's getting
I've
there.
listened to Travis for hours. Yes.
And what's funny about it is you're the one with the Soldano SLO, and he's the one with the solid state. Well,
no, that is not
it's
solid
tube
state.
Solid state. It's mixed with solid state, man.
It's half and half.
That's got
Right?
That's got preamp tubes and power amp tubes. It
Okay.
is a full
It's half and
on.
half.
It's
All
a
right.
full,
I don't care.
full
It sounds
on.
kick-ass.
I know
It does, dude.
It sounds so good that I know a certain individual who liked to borrow it. Oh man,
Was
that
it
big
Sledgehammer? Was that the name of the band?
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer?
Yeah, this dude
Primal
in
Concrete Sledgehammer. That's who it was.
I thought they were called Ham Dropper.
Oh yeah.
Was that them?
Yeah.
Our mistake.
Damn. All I know is that singer was sexy.
He was.
Looking good.
No, I had to borrow that amp because mine has been sitting in the garage for so long. I didn't know if it worked or not because the last time I used it was on stage with cheese pizza, with people pouring beer all over it. And
Where'd you play?
I want to say the last time I played with that band was shit, man. I think it was up there at the
Stickman's?
it was out in Silvis, that Docks Inn or something. It was an outside thing.
Docks in.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I played with them. Because I kind of had a falling out with the singer that night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I said, this isn't all going to be about 1152. We can talk about any situation.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of bands. I was in a band where the lead singer, Cheese Pizza, that dressed up like a woman.
Uh-huh.
I always thought that he was a woman.
Did you really?
He's not?
No, he's not.
He?
Dude, if his name,
I hope he's listening.
His name is Lee, and if you really think he looks like a woman, you need to see some better women.
No, I was just
Mark
trying
Stinger's out tonight.
I was just trying to get his goat.
Is that Mark Stinger?
That's Mark Stinger.
After so many beers, man, you won't see Mike till tomorrow.
Okay. I'm liking this Mark guy. I was playing with Cheese Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a lot of stupid bands, and that's the last time I played that amp. So it was like oxidized, probably, and wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And so I borrowed your amp because I was lazy, and I was like, shit, I'll use somebody else's amp because I don't want to go through mine and see if mine works.
Plus, mine just sounds fucking badass.
Well,
No
actually,
offense to anybody.
the whole idea was I was coming over to to try out Dusty's Soldano SLO.
Yes, you were.
Which sounds badass.
Yes, you
Yeah, because at one point in history, I've played through that amp before.
Yes, you did.
And it was at a Tone party.
Out in LeClaire, right?
Yeah, and
Did you say boner party?
I wasn't even there.
okay, so we had a Tone party out there in LeClaire, and we were trying out all these different amps. And let's see, Jerry brought his crank. My buddy Jerry Freeze, I think, brought his crank, and the Soldano SLO was there, and there was every amp you could think of was at this place, and they were just going up and down the line, you know, and they'd have the owners of the amp come up and talk about the amp and what it does and what's special about it, and they'd go amp to amp to amp, and then after that, everybody could just go plug into what they wanted to and just kind of, you know. But for the Soldano, they wanted a guitar player to, you know, whoever they needed a guitar player to play through it so they could show what it did, and they figured I was probably the best at doing what it was good at.
Says so right over there.
What it would showcase as far as what the Soldano can do, and I plugged into it and went, whoa, you know what I mean? I was like, this amp is the amp I should have had a long time ago. I didn't know that it could do this. You know what I mean? Because I played through JCM 900s and 800 Marshalls and stuff that just weren't flattering to me at all.
No. That's a completely different power section you're talking about. The Marshalls are...
When I came
I've never been a
across
fan.
that same Soldano you're talking about, I had a PV Ultra head, I think.
Yes, that was the one.
Which is a tube amp.
Yes.
And it sounded
channel,
really good.
3-channel
Yeah,
amp.
yep.
Yep, change colors and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what sold me on it, change colors. But it was a cool amp, and I played it for a long time, and I dug it, and it had a ton of gain. And, you know, at that time, I didn't care too much about tone. I really didn't. It wasn't until I got in Marianas with Travis and Worm that those guys showed me how to appreciate tone and to, like, you know, not just get up there and think something fuzzy and buzzy.
Right. So you had that buzzsaw guitar sound going?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we were young. We were all young once. I mean,
Pipe theory wasn't really.
You know,
That wasn't like beginner guitar tone. I mean, that was pretty good guitar tone.
I was going for Dimebag Darrell tone there.
Well, and also they were selling amps around that time that were so over gained and saturated
But you know what I had?
for bedroom tone.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it up, it just doesn't go across.
No.
Right, but I did not have that amp. I bought a Randall, like a RG100 or something.
That sounds
like
about right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it had no gain. I mean,
Wait a minute.
Crank the gain.
Dimebag was
he
endorsing
had-
Randall though for
right,
a while.
and, and that's what I was going for. And young and dumb, I went and bought the RG100, and I'm gonna sound just like Dimebag. No.
It didn't sound.
It was more like BB King tone,
Really?
or like, you know, like all the gain you could get out of it was like this bluesy tone, you know?
Right.
And
yeah, because back in the day, you know, Dimebag probably had all them Randalls up front, and then he probably had a PV Bandit behind it with a microphone.
right, with some EQ he had, you know, on it. And,
Right.
Yeah.
but what I did with that amp in Pipe Theory was took a Boss Metal Zone 2 pedal and duct taped it to the channel switch pedal on that Randall, so that when I would change from clean to dirty on the Randall, it would also change clean to dirty on that Metal Zone. So I was running both distortions at the same time.
Super
all the
dirty.
time.
Oh man, that sounded awesome.
No, it did. It really did.
It did sound
It
pretty-
really did. Pipe
it
Theory was
sounded pretty
fucking
cool.
bone crushing, man. They
It
were
sounded
awesome.
pretty cool.
Really?
It really
Okay.
did. Yeah, it really
right.
did. I run a full stack with the
You see him
with the
stick his
Randall
nose up at you?
slant
Did you
cab.
see that?
I saw it. I saw it.
No, no,
He didn't like
See,
it. He didn't like it.
That goes against anything that I hold true.
I said duct tape, and he was like,
What?
Well, no, the duct.
This ain't NASCAR.
No, the duct tape parts I'm fine with. It's the two distortions running at the same time, full blast, that I'm going. That must have been awesome.
But remember, the distortion on the amp was
nothing.
hardly anything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've done that before. I had my very first rig I ever had, what I call a rig, is anything with more than one speaker. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So my first rig was somehow I attained these old PV cabinets with the speakers that like somebody tried to glue back together. All cones are all ripped out of all of them. Big old cabinets, old PV cabinets from like the 40s or something. They're like the 1820s, huge. Anyway, two of them, and then I'd put my PV Bandit on top of it and disconnect the speakers and took the two cables and made a speaker cable, and didn't even make a real speaker cable and just jacked it into both cabinets and went "Rah" on the amp. Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, man.
I bet that sounded awesome.
Yeah, right? I used to love doing that, man. Find everything you could daisy chain together or whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah. You wanted stacks, though, because
turn them all up as loud as you could.
You looked at your heroes, man, and they all had these boxes behind them that said Marshall, and you remember seeing that all the time, and you were going, "That's the shit, man! I gotta have Marshall." Every band had Marshalls behind them.
Yep.
Right?
They did.
Yeah, and that was what was so cool. You go to see a concert, and on one side there'll be like 12 fucking Marshall cabinets, and you go, "That's the shit, man!"
And not one of them had speakers in it.
I know.
None of them.
Because I used to go see Kiss, and I swear to God, one time Kiss came out and they had the big, the stainless steel front cabinet, so they really shined. You know what I mean? And they brought out, and I remember I counted. They brought the initial stacks were 16 stacks per side, 16 stacks per side.
32 speakers, or 32 boxes per side.
And then another hydraulic lift went and like put up 32 more.
Oh my God.
And I went, and you know, this is a kid, and I'm going, holy shit. And I'm thinking that, you know, Ace Frehley's really plugged into all these cabinets, you know, because I don't know that much difference. Actually, the first time I saw him like that was somebody else was playing guitar. But moral of the story is, you think that's real. There's 1,000 speakers up there, and they're really playing through one, probably 412 with a 30-watt greenback that they mic the same position a million times, you know what I mean? And they've got it marked. You see it, they got the little square tape. The one that's live, they have a little square tape on the cabinet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
When we were opening for Rad at the iWireless, I was backstage, and I took pictures of, sorry to sell them out, but there was one cabinet going that whole time, and I took pictures because none of the cabinets even had inputs in the back, except for that one at the end. No, that's not right. They all had inputs, but they had
no speakers in them.
I don't know if they had speakers or not, because they had the backs on them, so I couldn't see in them.
Right, but if you were to go pick one up, it's considerably lighter. I mean,
I'm sure there's no speakers in them. They wouldn't haul that much weight.
Right? Yeah. Why would they?
But I couldn't see. But they still were real cabinets. But they had probably taken the guts out of them.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyway, how do we end up here?
I don't know. We're talking about guitar tone, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about amps, Soldanos. You know, speaking of the Soldano, Mark Knopfler, he played through the SLO 100 for years. He had two of them running at the same. Well, he'd had two of them backstage, and his guitar tech.
Who's that?
Dire Straits. You guys know Dire Straits, right? You
love Dire Straits,
right? Okay, Mark Knopfler. That's what he played through. So he got all those beautiful, beautiful clean tones through those amps, and those great, dirty, saturated tones that he played through. And he had a guitar tech. He had two of them running. His guitar tech would dial up his next tone for the coming song, and then he would shut the one amp off.
Where'd you read this at?
In a 1992 Guitar Player magazine.
Man, you must have been really interested in it because you know everything about it.
Yeah.
This is interesting. What? So he had, go ahead with that.
He had two of them, and he had an amp switcher of some sort where when only one would be active, but his guitar tech would dial in tone for the upcoming song, and then turn the one off and turn the other one on, and that's what Mark would play through, and then he would.
That's awesome.
See, I want to know how much of that is going on with bands. Because
anymore?
Dude.
Because you watch like some of those, I remember watching the Pantera home videos, and there was a dude backstage that was kind of controlling some of Dime's
there are
effects, like giving him those really high. Really?
I didn't see
running that whammy pedal for him.
Right, right.
If you have a dedicated guy who knows what you're playing, and if you play it the same way all the time, sure, they can stomp your pedals for you. Why not?
Your timing and whatnot.
Well, I noticed that Kirk Hammett, when Metallica was here, he had a wah-wah pedal that was like every 20 feet around the whole thing.
Because he's the wah-wah pedal master.
See, now how much of that's real? Because maybe that's just a prop and somebody else is running it for him. Because you can't. Why would you want to run unless they're wireless pedals?
That's totally.
You're running that much cable around the stage. You know what I mean? Imagine that. It almost like have a lag. You know, it'd be like, you know what I mean?
Right.
That much cable going around all the.
Have you seen what those guys are doing though?
Is there such thing as a wireless wah pedal?
I don't think so.
Because I'm telling you, you saw him everywhere he was. There was a wah available for him to stomp.
There's got to be. There's got to be a wireless.
There might be, but I think that he's probably got a guy who knows well enough how to run it for him.
Okay.
He runs his signal wirelessly into his rig backstage.
But what about like if he has in the set solo spot? Like
he's at a real Wawa.
Maybe there's the one designated spot.
He's at the Wawa that actually is plugged
that's
in.
like marked.
Yeah.
That's
marked.
totally. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, you're not gonna daisy chain 20 Wawas all the way around because they play in the round.
That's ridiculous.
And I remember watching him. I was like, well, it's Kirk Hammett. He's gonna do something Wawa here at any given time because he's Kirk Hammett.
Right.
He does a lot of wah shit.
He sure
and so
does.
I'm like, well, he's way over there. How's he going to get back to us? Oh, shit, he's got a wah right there. And I started looking around the perimeter. And I was like, whoa, there's one there, and there's one there, there's one there. And I counted around the whole thing. I don't know how many exactly, but I knew that within a certain amount, he could always get to one.
Right.
And I'm like,
that's just for show. That's got to be for show. Because the fans know, the guys that are watching him, they know he's playing through a wah-wah pedal, so he's got to look like it.
Yeah. Well,
bass player uses a wah too, though, doesn't he?
Robert? Yeah. Sure.
Dude, that's a nasty bass player. I saw Suicidal Tendency.
Yeah, man.
They were opening for Kiss or something. Was it Kiss? What did you see?
I was going to say 93, Des Moines.
Oh.
Opening for Metallica.
My brain gets bands that open for other bands messed up sometimes. You're right. It was Metallica.
The singer of Suicidal Tendencies ran out. First song.
Mike Muir.
And gashed his knee open. Do you remember that?
I remember there being blood, man.
Down. Yeah, he had to sit down the first couple songs, and some dude was stitching him up right there on stage.
I don't remember
he's
that.
singing, but he's sitting down singing.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's metal as hell.
It was only the second show, maybe the third show I'd ever been to.
Do you think that was a prop?
I don't think it was.
No?
I really don't.
Really?
No?
Okay.
No, he had to drink juice and eat cookies.
Yeah.
So I remember being at that show.
He had a Band-Aid. I saw it.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse. The whole thing would have been hilarious if they put like a Hello Kitty Band-Aid on it at the end.
I don't think Hello Kitty was big back then.
So, well, no, it wouldn't have been. You're right.
1993.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was just trying my comedic genius. Thanks for stomping on it.
Mark Stinger don't allow that.
No.
Nope.
Muscle Milk Mark Stinger.
That's right.
Calling out Brian.
The Mark part, we'll just jump around this whole show. The Mark part comes from, I've lived in my house for 5 years before my neighbor died. But when I first moved in there, that son of a bitch would come over all the time, and he always called me Mark.
Oh,
and it's like, dude, 5 fucking years I've lived here, and 5 years I've been telling you, my name is Mike. But it was always Mark.
Yeah,
he was dude, he was a drunk, and yeah, Dusty's met him. Dude, his eyes were yellow, man, like cirrhosis, big time.
God, I wish
drunk
I could.
all the time.
If I was at that stage, I'd be fucking drunk all the time too. I'd smoke cigarettes all fucking day. I'd fucking eat them and fucking eat pizza. You know what I mean? If you know it's over and nobody likes you and you stink and like no one will fuck you no more.
And you stink.
It's like, hold me up in my house. As long as I got money for pizzas and burritos and shit and dope and fucking, you know what I mean? I'd be out on my porch smoking cigarettes. I'd break the filters off them fuckers and get right to it. And I'd be like, get the fuck out of my yard, you little twerp asses. That's what I'd do, man. I'd drink all day and get drunk and throw up on little kids. Fuck yeah. Anyway, your neighbor sounds like a good guy.
He died.
He's my kind of people.
Throw up on little kids.
He did.
It's cool.
No one trick or treats at my house. Got every light on the porch on. Sitting out there fucking smoking a joint.
Oh, wait, man. That's Old Man Miner's house, man.
Old Man Miner.
Don't go by there.
Oh, that's a good one.
You guys been to Old Man Miner? He gave my kids a bag of weed, man.
Oh, man.
It was a completely accident. He came and asked for it back. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Shit.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So what'd you do for Halloween? Did you guys give out candy?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, it was
He lives in Bettendorf. That's you have to in Bettendorf.
Because I know where you're at, and trick-or-treating can be sketchy.
I did not stay at my house for Halloween.
Yeah.
Nope.
I took my daughter, she's 2.5, and she wanted to be a unicorn, so she had this like where her legs are the hind legs of the unicorn, and she's got to hold the other 2 legs in front of her. And it was rainy and wet and muddy, and she just let that thing drag. You know what I mean? And she's got this, so she looked like this girl in like a furry pink pants with a unicorn dead behind her, dragging behind her with this bucket of candy. Yeah, let's go to the next house. And like I said, you at least got to pick up the head out of the mud and say, I'm a unicorn. So because it was, so we didn't get to do a whole lot of trick or treating. And I'm just kind of past that.
The weather was bad, man.
And we went to. Yeah, I took my daughter for the first time. She could understand we're trick or treating now. Last year she had no clue. You know, they're like 1. A 1-year-old's we're doing what? You know what I mean? So now this time she gets it. She's like, so if I go up to that door with the light on, because first I'm like, look for the lights on the porches. That's the first thing I said. They'll give you candy if you say trick or treat. And she goes, okay. And this is all going on in their head, and they're getting this candy. You said candy, right? Yeah. So look for the porch lights. Oh, Daddy, there's porch light. And like, yep, let's go. And they start skipping and getting all happy. And they're like, candy is a key word here, man. I mean, it's like that's their whole life.
It rules all.
They wake up in the morning and they figure out, how am I going to get candy today from Daddy? Because I can usually trick him. You know what I mean? And they're persistent.
That was everything we did tonight was my son's reason for candy.
Yeah.
Well, I did this. I get candy. Mm-hmm. Well, you can have some candy when we get home. Mm-hmm. Some. And by some, I mean one piece.
It's good to know that you and I are on the same ride, because I get that you're just joining the ride. It's going to happen to you.
Oh, yes, it is.
You're going to really find out what kind of a man you are, because the 2-year-old is going to be able to break you down sometimes.
Yep.
And you'll feel this big. She's like, I just lost a battle with a 2-year-old. That's what I get.
And in 25 minutes, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. You're going to have the same battle again. Mm-hmm. He's so excited. You remember,
little boys are different though. But I understand the girl part, because I got this 15-month-old girl who does whatever she wants.
Yeah,
and I let her.
She's so cute though, man.
And I let her do it.
That's why.
Guilty.
Here's what happened to me.
Because she's so damn cute.
I waited till I was a bit older to have kids, so all of my other buddies that were my age had already had their kids and stuff. And I remember when Danelle got pregnant the first time, and we would go talk to these other couples that already have kids, you know. And Danelle would walk up to him and say, we're pregnant. And the girl would go, oh, and they'd hug. And the dude looked at me and went, oh, man. You know what I mean? And I was like, what, dude? What's that? You're supposed to be high-fiving me and shit. And he's like, it's over for you, man. It's not as bad as they say it is, man. But it is all-encompassing. It's a big job. It's a big order to take on.
They don't stop. No. They never stop, the kids. We're going to jump around a little bit.
That's
the
fine.
reason why the name of one of our songs is Recliner Riff is because I wrote that riff in my recliner, because I couldn't go downstairs because the kids wanted to come downstairs if I was downstairs. So I had to write that song in my recliner while the kids were pulling on the guitar, grabbing the strings, and messing with,
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, you know how it is. So yeah, that.
As soon as I sit down in the studio and pick up my guitar and just start messing around, there's some greasy little fingers with like whatever's left of the Pringles on her fingers, like wiping it all over my guitar. What's this, Daddy? You know, all that stuff.
Knobs. And if they see the amp you're playing through, oh, look at that. Oh,
lights.
Yeah. They go to town on it.
Yeah.
And then you're a huge dick when you're like, okay, I'm going downstairs. You shut the door, I'm going downstairs. I'm going to go play by myself. Then they start crying, and Mom's like, why you make kids cry?
Yeah, so just think of the music you could come up with if you could just do it whenever you wanted. You know?
Mike and I always talk about bands that, like Metallica or whoever, they're out on tour. They don't have a job. They wake up, they can play guitar. They can rehearse vocals. That's
what they do. That's their job.
And they have all the equipment to record.
Imagine how good you could get if you could devote that much time.
Right? I'll tell you something that you guys might not realize though too, is if you were put in that situation, it probably wouldn't be too long until you overkilled it and then it became a job. I'm just telling you guys, you guys are on the other side of it.
It's very true.
I watched one of the best metal bands on the fucking planet turn into a bunch of sissies on camera, documented Metallica.
Yeah.
And then I watched Newstead walk away from it, keeping his cojones, just walks away from it because he wants to, he wanted to do it a certain way, and
he just wanted to do it.
Yeah, he wanted to be a part of the band.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And the other guys are like, well, I got married and I got kids.
Yeah. And you see how that dynamic changes because he's never had kids, so he has no idea what it's like to have a kid and be like, look, dude, slow the fuck down. Okay, the band's doing fine. We're rich as fuck. Shut up. Hold on. I want to have a little time with my kids. You don't understand what it's like to have kids. But Newstead was like, I don't care. I didn't have kids for this reason. So, and I've seen him say it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's an interview of him doing that.
So when you said you thought it was a bad move, Did you mean Hetfield's bad move?
Hetfield or Jason?
Or Newsted's bad
Both.
move?
I don't think that anybody fared out of that one. I mean, I love Trujillo. That's what started the subject. Was I saw
Right.
He's a bad motherfucker.
He's a way better bass player.
Yeah. I don't
Right?
hear.
He
I've
is.
never heard either one of them. Really?
That's very true. The bass is very suppressed in those bands.
Out of all the bass players that have played for Metallica, Newsted's the worst, I think, personally.
But when I watched Metallica with Newsted in the band, I knew it was Metallica.
When you watched him, right?
I
Because he
knew-
was cool to look at on
it
stage
looked
because he
at-
did the whirl bang and he was,
Well, you tell
he
me.
was screaming and going, making
He
the-
looked fucking cool.
Right.
And plus, like I said, they didn't even need a bass player, so it's like, whatever. But Trujillo's a better bass player. I give you that. But who cares?
And so is
Metallica's
Cliff
never
Burton,
needed
right?
a bass player, really. Their riffs are all the same. They're that really hard, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's there, but it's not like
Right.
he's a virtuoso on the
It's
bass.
like Rex Brown on from Pantera.
Right. You need him.
You only
really
hear him
there?
when Dimebag's playing the solo.
Right.
Right. You don't need him so bad, so you can get a guy
Right.
that looks cooler and maybe compromise a little bit in the skill department.
Rex was a guitar player anyway.
Is that what made Megadeth sound different? That you
Dave
could hear the bass?
Ellefson, yeah, you
You
hear
could
that.
actually hear what
Yeah.
he was playing.
No, what made
was it?
What made Megadeth sound different was Dave Mustaine.
See, you guys don't like Dave Mustaine.
I love
at all.
Megadeth riffs. I do.
too.
I could
Me too.
do without Dave's voice.
You guys, I'm telling you, I'll never change your opinion on that, but that's somewhere that you and I are going to disagree because I fucking love Megadeth. I love the way that Dave Mustaine's voice sounds only because it's so flawed. I love the way that it's so broken and flawed. It makes me believe in the underdog because his voice, and he means it, and he's came up with his own craft and his own sound, and it's pleasing to my ears most of the time. I know what you're talking about with the that stuff.
He's the butt of many jokes for us.
Let me hear one of them. I want to hear one of them.
Well, Dusty does it whenever he's impersonating him.
even think of a line.
Sweating bullets, man. Sweating bullets.
Hello, me.
Meet the real
I
me.
can't do it.
Yeah.
My misfit's way of life.
A dark black past is my most valued possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like I said, I like his voice. I mean, if you think about things like Countdown to Extinction and that era of stuff, Tout Le Monde, Train of Consequences.
Yeah. You're talking,
Yeah. After Countdown, and then what was that album called? Euthanasia.
Yeah.
Euthanasia.
That was
Their
good.
album before was it Rust in Peace?
Cryptic Writings.
They're one of the best bands I've ever.
Rust in Peace.
Rust in Peace is fucking killer.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
is.
Oh, absolutely. When you go past Peace Sells for me, then I start to lose interest a little bit back there.
Yeah.
You mean go further back?
Right,
Further
back in the,
back, further
back in the
back.
catalog.
Yep.
It's the, sorry, some people are like true heart,
Yeah.
usually when people come on, like you guys, I'll like these records and then you guys will get famous and then you'll change your style and shit and I'll be one of them guys that was like, I liked 1152 and they're fucking 1152 motherfuckers. The record producer said that's what's cool now and they change you and they make you grow long hair and I'll give you a wig or something and
It'd have to be a wig.
The one thing I will say about our band is that
we'll never sell out.
Is that when we make it, we will still be the original band.
Okay.
We will be.
Yeah, that's true.
Regardless of anybody's history, Metallica's history, Megadeth's history, anybody who's ever had band changes, member changes, which is basically everybody, we won't make it.
I like that we're comparing us to Metallica and Megadeth. This is
Hey man, it's just
That's cool.
It goes hand in hand. 1152 and Metallica goes hand in hand. Everybody knows that.
Well, you can definitely smell some influence.
it's there.
Yeah,
You know?
we both cut our teeth on Metallica.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it is.
Well, see, that's why I talk about these records behind me. There's certain bands and certain records that come, and they don't look up there, Dusty, because most of them you don't even know what they are. They're before you were born.
I can't
probably.
even spell some of that.
But here, and that's not even all the records. I'm just saying that there's some records up there. I'm gonna at some point have just records that changed my life up there. But right now there's a whole bunch of just record covers that some of them don't really mean that much to me. Although there are some up there that completely are parts of me. But Metallica ain't up there. And that's because I can't find one.
Yeah, you need
Okay.
master.
Well, I'm looking for one. I've got Ragged Records looking for these covers for me because they'll be on the wall. It's hard to find a Master of Puppets on vinyl. that somebody has it.
Because somebody's got it hanging on their wall, and they're not going to let go of it.
Right, because it meant a lot to a lot of people, so they're going to keep it. Wow. So as soon as I can get one, because when I came into, I didn't buy a vinyl. I bought. You should
get a hold of Elektra.
Right, too. Yeah.
Call Elektra and see if they'll make you one.
Oh, I like the hunt, man. And plus, I'm putting Ragged Records on the line here, and I'm letting them know that they're a sponsor of the show. So they're, they'll get it for me. They'll find it. They got me the Operation Mindcrime, which is really hard to find. And
they got you that rare.
I gotta ask, Mike. Yes. Have you ever listened to that album, Operation Mindcrime?
Queensryche?
Yes.
No.
Nor have I.
Wait, what's the popular song from it?
There was I Don't Believe in Love and Eyes of a Stranger.
It's got to be before Silent Lucidity, right?
What are we talking about again?
Yeah.
That's how I...
Okay, we'll get back to your Metallica conversation, but I'm telling you, as a man that loves music, and I'm talking to two people that I trust that, trust me on this level.
Yes.
Operation Mindcrime should be listened to by both of you multiple times until you're in love with it.
That's why I asked him that, because I hear a lot of people talk about it, and I've never heard it either.
I have not.
It's super cool.
What year is it?
Okay, I'm not telling you.
Why?
It's 80s something.
No, is it 70s?
It's 80s.
It's not 70s.
It's 80s.
Are you serious?
Just making sure.
Oh man, I'm alone here. I am alone.
It's 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's like 85.
Operation Mindcrime would have been late 80s, early 90s.
Close to the 90s.
I would imagine, yeah.
Why don't we know it then, as guitar players who?
Because Queensryche didn't come into the vernacular of music until you heard Silent Lucidity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Just like for a lot of people, Metallica didn't come into the vernacular until Nothing Else Matters.
True.
Or Enter Sandman.
Very true.
Or even One.
Something popped in everybody's cherry, and then they're like, oh, I love Metallica. And that's when all the sheep went to Metallica, and then now everybody loves Metallica, and they don't know why. But, well, it's because it's the popular thing. It's pop music. And everybody moves to that Godsmack whole thing where everything's a bark and not too much of a singing. Like, no one's going, la, you know what I mean? Ever again. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? And so all of a sudden I'm useless as a singer, and I'm hearing these new voices in this style, and I'm going, okay, how am I got to do that now somehow,
it's coming around
to be marketable. I can't, my voice isn't made to do that at all. And so this new thing is ushered in.
Well, you trained it to do what it does now. You could probably train it to do something else.
And you're right, because the reason I sing the way I do now is because I spent a lot of time emulating my heroes of what was going on when I was learning how to sing.
Right.
Yep.
So when I was learning how to sing, I remember I got to be able to sing like Dream Theater. In my mind, that's what I was, because I never took a lesson to sing at all.
That's James LaBrie.
Yeah.
Everybody who's watching at home.
Listen, when it came to me, I never thought I could sing at all, ever. I didn't even want to be a singer. I just wanted to play. I wanted to be the George Lynch in Dokken that just played guitar and swanked around and ripped ass all night and then went home. You know what I mean? I didn't want to sing.
I rip ass at home.
Singers were singers. Singers were singers. I wanted to be just a lead guitar player, because in my era, that's how bands were built. You had to get a good-looking singer, which I wasn't good looking enough, so I'm not going to be the singer.
Stop it.
Well, you got to be honest. You got to have beautiful blonde hair. Like, look at Mike Tramp from White Lion. Okay?
No, man, you don't have to.
No, I'm just saying, in my era, you guys, I'm going to lesson you motherfuckers right now. I'm going to teach you.
In your era, wait a minute now.
You guys listen here.
What about the singer from the Scorpions?
With our ages combined, we are older than you.
No, the dude from the Scorpions is ugly as fuck.
Right?
Listen, you're a guitar player, and I'm telling you, you know who White Lion is because you know who Vito Bratta is. Right?
No.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Oh, shit, dude. Are we going to have to listen to a solo right now?
Play one.
I'll bet that.
I'll do it.
I bet that I've heard it. Maybe I just don't know him by name.
So if you go away, I know that
So we were talking about that singing voice that
Jeff.
that Dusty has, where he can go in and out of singing and then scream.
Yes,
like
at any given moment. And just so we're all on the same page, before Dusty got here, I was telling Brian how I am very proud of everything you've done vocally on this new album. And the old album, too. I mean, don't get me wrong, but this new album is amazing. Amazing.
Thanks, man.
When you guys are done nut hugging, want to get back to the minor disturbance?
Hey, man, you're gonna can you turn the cameras off for a minute?
Yeah. Okay, so where in the fuck were we? We were talking about Metallica changing the game.
We were talking about Phil Anselmo and his ability to, like...
change the game vocally to where...
Dude, you know, I can't stand Phil Anselmo.
Well, yeah, nobody likes the guy, but what about what he did
Wait a minute,
for
that's
the vocal position, though?
That's unheard of. You don't like him for what
I don't
reason?
like
him personally?
Yeah, just the way he
You don't like
comes
the
off.
guy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because, man, if we were back in the States, we'd kick the fuck out of that guy, man. He's just real...
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
know.
See, I used to be able to sit for hours. Me and my buddy would sit for hours and watch Phil Anselmo interviews and laugh our ass off.
Yeah,
because he is such a jackass, and it's so fun to watch him melt down and lose. You know, I don't. Is that heroin? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's heroin.
Oh yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
I think it's heroin and like pain meds. Like
you remember when Charlie Sheen freaked out and he was all
winning?
He was like, "Yeah, he did that whole thing."
He sure wasn't.
Like,
Tiger blood.
That's because I'm a rock star from outer space. You know what I mean? He was up in it. This reminds me of that shit. Like when people lose it like that.
This
like,
interview reminds you of that?
No, when I was thinking of Phil Anselmo and his interviews.
Yes.
It reminds when celebrities lose their mind on drugs, it's fun to watch.
Right, especially post Pantera. He seemed to have gotten even more crazy.
It was odd.
Oh, right after Dimebag got murdered, dude, that was crazy, Phil Anselmo.
Dude.
Crazy.
Yeah, he went bonkers, crying, acting like he's like, I want to tell you, man, he was a brother, man. He was a motherfucking brother.
That's a pretty good film.
And then he'd be like,
good.
Don't you think that I didn't love that man? Fucking brothers, man. And then I was like, that dude's losing it. And he was fucked up, and he was just going, But you can look it up on YouTube. He loses his mind.
Yeah.
Which he made himself seem like he kind of was guilty of something. You know what I mean?
I got the same feeling.
Yeah, I kind of when I watched that, I was like, "This dude knows something." I got the same
feeling. Yeah, I really did.
Conspiracy theory.
I really did.
No, I don't think that Phil Anselmo had anything to do with it. No, I think that he was worried about people thinking he's going to come off that way, and he's so worried about coming off that way, he came off that way.
He did it. It was him.
He did it.
He and Courtney Love, they're in.
Courtney Love, that filthy.
She did it too.
She did it.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me think of, do you remember, because I remember that day, getting on my internet and like one of the first things I see is.
Is that 1994?
Yeah, and just the whole.
December?
The whole thing of.
I don't remember.
You don't know if you're reading it right. You know what I mean? You're looking at it like it doesn't register in your head.
Yeah.
Or you saw it as Daryl Abbott.
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
No, it was Dimebag.
Dimebag Daryl.
Dimebag killed, and we're like Dimebag and killed in the same sentence doesn't make sense to me.
Who's the guy that you guys fear seeing that? Like you, who do you fear tomorrow you wake up?
Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
Like the last dude on the planet, and it's gonna happen. I've already figured that out because. The day that Kiss no longer exists, and don't get me on Kiss too much because I'll go on and on and on about them, but they were the one thing that when I was a 7-year-old kid, I latched onto, and it gave me that feeling, and it was my whole thing. It brought me into this whole entertainment thing. And I was watching masters at it, you know what I mean? The bigger comic book heroes that could play instruments. I was hook, line, and sinker into this shit. And as time went on, I started losing faith in them when they started replacing members and all this bullshit. But it's still... the fact that Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons and Peter Criss and Ace Frehley are still alive on this planet and can walk, there's still a fucking chance I could still see Kiss. You know what I mean? And as soon as one of them goes, Peter Criss, Ace, any of them, as soon as they go, I think Kiss in itself goes in the box with them because there's just like the Beatles. When Lennon was shot, that's why so many people were like, holy shit, because they knew no way the Beatles could play again.
Yeah.
And when Dimebag went down, something in my mind did the same thing. Pantera will never happen again. And that's what I wanted to see again was Pantera. I was waiting for them all to make up again and fucking do it. And when he went, I knew that there was so much music that was going to be left unheard.
Dude, it was so fucking good.
Lane Staley.
Game-changing shit. Could have, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Lane Staley, yeah, absolutely. Jimi Hendrix lost before they even realized who they were.
Man, Lane Staley had one of them voices that he's got that mixture of smoky and grit and that nice note and vibrato that's just beautiful.
And the ability to sing and he can hit up there.
Oh my God. Right. He was amazing. He was amazing.
Yep. I envy the guys that can hit those notes with rasp.
Yeah.
You know?
You mean Jose?
Jose can do that.
Jose's a great singer, man. He's got that thing going.
He can hit those notes with the rasp. Lane Staley, Sebastian Bach can hit those notes with some nasty behind it.
Yeah, that's I said. That's what I was listening to when I was learning to sing. I'll finish the story. I would go in my van because this is how I taught myself to sing. I was like, I'm going to have to be a singer because I can't find a singer anymore. Singers are gone, and if I want to write original material, I'm going to have to sing on it. So I better learn how to sing. Man. And that's a big step to take, dude.
Yeah,
because you go from the dude that goes, it had no range, nothing in between there. Cracked it all the time. Couldn't get past that break in your voice. La 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 la. How am I gonna get rid of this thing right here? You know what I mean? And
God, dude, don't relive it, man.
Yeah. And so I was like, fuck it. I read somewhere that James LaBrie from Dream Theater learned how to sing by he took his favorite record and he yelled it as loud as he could until he could fucking do it. Dude. And I took a jam box and loaded them up with them big D batteries because back then that's how shit ran. You had a jam box with batteries in it if you wanted it in your car because my van didn't have a fucking radio that played tapes. So I'd have to bring this jam box out in my empty cargo van that I had and put this jam box in between the seats and crank up Slave to the Grind and just start, well, outside my window there's until I was fucking, and I'd just drive the highway.
Yeah, man.
No kids. No girlfriends, nothing like that. Just drive for hours screaming
crazy.
That shit.
Gas prices were only 99 cents.
89 cents.
89 cents.
Yeah.
Good. Oh.
Shut up. It wasn't that long ago. It was like $1.10 or something.
Oh, stop it.
It's cool to hear you say that because I've got a really similar story that I played rhythm guitar and pipe theory. Well, I was the only guitarist in pipe theory, but I didn't play any solos or anything. It was just pure chuggy riffs, you know. And I wanted to learn. I wanted to be the singer, you know. And I had a girlfriend who lived in Iowa City. I lived here in the Quad Cities, and I would drive back and forth all the time, 2-3 times a week. So I'd have that drive in my truck by myself, and I would put in Incubus, Make Yourself, and
you're fine, buddy. It doesn't hurt nothing.
And sing it front to back.
And that was it.
And that's that same thing, man. You put in Slave to the Grind.
I can hear that in your style too, Dusty, when you say it that way. There's a couple things you did on that first record that were incubusable.
Incubusify.
Sure.
Incubusish.
Incubusy.
How do you even say that? I don't know.
Incubisish.
I get it now. I can hear it. You know,
got it.
My 2 records were "Slave to the Grind" and "Images and Words" from Dream Theater.
That was a fucking awesome album.
And then I snuck in.
had that one.
And then I snuck in one of the Steelheart records in there too. It was their second record. They had a song on there: "Smooth Side Down, Sticky Side Up." Their 80s music took a dive at the end, man. And when it was going down, it went down.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like music now is comparable to the end of the 80s run to where
the stylings? Absolutely. I'm watching it right now going, it's eating itself. It's already gone. It's gone to critical mass. It's at critical mass right now.
Do you feel like
going to blow up and everything's going to change?
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel like
absolutely
Nirvana's about to happen
Something's going to happen, yeah.
I feel the same way, man.
Yeah.
It's become so cookie cutter.
And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
In our little lifetime, you know, rock and roll is new. You know, it really, in the whole scheme of things, how old is rock and roll? 50 years old? Really? I mean,
Buddy Holly.
Yeah, I mean, how old is it really? It's not that old.
That's 50s, 60s. Yeah.
You know,
no idea.
You know, put in, you know, let's just go back to something that we understand. Well, actually, they've had music ever since we were Indians, you know, here, and then we've had music forever. But to have
were there ever Indians here?
There were Indians in America, yeah.
You mean Native Americans?
Well, see, I'm a Redskins fan, so I call them what the fuck they are. And you know, so I ain't afraid of this shit. We'll go there. And now it's time for the sports segment of the fucking discussion.
Brought to you by...
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. I'm hoping, if the Redskins change their logo and their name, I will no longer be a fan of that team at all. And let's just face it, none of us are really fans of the team that we love. Listen, are you a fan of the Bears?
That's on camera.
You consider yourself a fan of the Bears?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are you actually a fan of? Are you a fan of the C on the helmet, or are you a fan of the team?
The team.
Really? Because the team changes every 7 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so does the coaches and the owners. And
I follow that. I love that.
Okay, but
I love that.
What you really are in love with is the logo and the name of the team.
Yeah, and the place.
I mean, that's
right. Let's face it.
The place they play.
But
right.
You got to know,
because if that were the case, then when Cutler went when you gave us Grossman, you would be like a fan of the Redskins then all of a sudden because a piece of the Bears that you love so much.
No.
Partially.
No. Grossman.
Right? Wait, didn't he go to the Super Bowl?
Dude.
But you love the Bears so much.
He went to the Super Bowl.
He lost the Super Bowl. He lost.
My point is
the Super Bowl.
My point is my favorite team is called the Washington Redskins. Okay, that's my favorite team, and I'll tell you why they're my favorite team. Because I could care less about who's on their team as long as they're good and they get the job done. The reason that I like the Washington Redskins is because when I started up at Hallberg playing for the Hallberg Redskins, I signed up for flag football when I was 7. When I first played football for flag football, and I walked up there to the park, and they picked all the kids that signed up. They said, "You're going to the." We had so many kids that they had to make 2 teams. So you're going to the Hallberg Rams, and you're going to the Hallberg Redskins. You're going to the Hallberg Rams, and Brian, you're going to the Hallberg Redskins. And I was like, okay. I didn't give a shit. And I walked in that locker room, and I saw all them helmets with the Indian on the side of it, and the feathers, and the burgundy. And I put one on, and I looked at all the dudes around me that were putting theirs on too, and I saw that logo and fell in love with football in general and was a Redskin. Okay, so I was in love with that team, that logo, the look. See, that logo, when I see that Redskin logo, the Indian head and the feathers, it gives me that same feeling of when I see Kiss. It's just like, yeah. That's the fucking Redskins right there.
See, yeah.
Okay? So if they change the fucking name...
Are you in love with that logo or that feeling?
I'm in love with that feeling, and that logo does it for me. So when I'm watching football and I'm watching a dude with a burgundy helmet and the Indian on the side, well, they kind of look like Ronald McDonald, let's be honest. I mean, they have Ronald McDonald colors sometimes, like when they got the Ronald McDonald pants on, and they look stupid sometimes. But I was a kid when I picked this shit. If I had it to do over, I'd have picked the Raiders because it's the coolest colors ever, like black and gray, right?
Silver.
Look like Kiss.
Black and silver.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, so if they change the Redskin logo and they take the Indian off and change the name to like the Washington Yahoos, it's gonna actually be good for me because I'll be able to choose any team now.
Yeah.
Yeah, who do I like now?
Bears.
I'll never fall into that trap, Dusty.
Bears.
The Bears.
It's too obvious.
Lame.
It's too obvious.
Lame.
No,
way too obvious.
No, don't fool yourself.
Now, I got buddies, and usually, everybody that we always make fun of the Bears fans is like, of course you're a Bears fan. You can go buy your Bears shit all day long at Walmart. Join a real club where you got to fucking buy an NFL ticket to see your team and like order, by mail all the jerseys and shit.
Bears.
I can't even walk through Walmart without seeing something Bears, and I know this is the home. Well, Iowa's not their hometown, by the way.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, what's closer?
Green Bay.
No.
Minnesota.
Either.
St. Louis.
So anyway, that's my rant on the Redskins. If they decide to change it because it's too offensive to say Redskins, they've been saying it. They've been saying it since like the 30s, and now all of a sudden in 2013 it's a bad word.
Yeah, I mean,
get over it, you fucking pussies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Who cares?
Do you feel bad?
There's too much political correct.
Listen, they're saying, well, it's
or whatever you want.
It's bad about their name. They're denouncing that name. It sounds bad. It makes a mockery of them. Listen, if I'm going to have an NFL football team in my city and I'm going to hire players that are the best in the world to play for my team, and I'm striving to win a fucking Super Bowl trophy, I'm not going to name my team some name that is derogative or doesn't have respect or appreciation to it. They named it the Redskins because they were somehow admiring that culture and tagging this and putting that label on this football team that's going to march to victory. Okay,
I think so too.
It says "Hail to the Redskins, hail victory, Braves on the warpath."
Is it wrong to be a Spartan? I mean,
well, that's what I mean. So what's next?
Yeah, to be a Trojan is that bad?
Maybe being a bear would be animal cruelty someday.
Right.
Maybe they should just
Being
be
a Bears fan
football
is
team
just
A,
dumb.
Totally agree with
football team B,
Right.
football team C.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ooh,
At
that's
what point do we
very
stop?
government issue. I like
Like
that.
if you're the Houston Rockets, are you offensive because Rockets?
That's violent.
Kill people.
That's
Right.
violent.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Right.
far does this go?
Yeah. I agree, man. And
Yeah.
it
That shit's
is a
deep.
show of. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Should be
ain't
deep.
deep.
You're right. The Bears are not deep. They ain't going anywhere.
Well, the Redskins beat them, so that doesn't say much. Out of our 2 wins all
Kick a
year,
man.
one
I
of
didn't
them was
think
the
you.
Bears.
I didn't think you were that guy, Brian. Kick
Hey,
a
I
man
take
when
what
he's
I can
down.
get. I'm a
Kick
Skins
man
fan. I
when
take
he's
what I can
down.
get. Absolutely, I'll take what I can get. We couldn't do it again. I know that if we played them 10 times in a row, we'd win 1 and we'll lose 9. I know that.
Not right now. You could beat them every time right now.
No, the Bears are a good team. It's just they're an on and off team. They're good and then they're not good. It's like the Cowboys. I'm sorry to say, but the Cowboys could stomp balls and just be on.
Bears are hurt.
Yeah.
Bears are hurt, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
What can you do?
so we parlayed into.
But you said the logo is what you root for.
Yeah.
But I disagree because I've heard you talk about RG3.
Well, of course, because he's wearing that logo. If he'd have came into the league and had a horseshoe on his helmet, I wouldn't
All
give two
right.
shits about him. But that's a sport right there that all you have to do is have the physical attributes and all that stuff, and you have to know what you're doing and be good at what you're doing and perform and work every day that way, and you can go somewhere. In music, you have to be lucky as fuck.
Yep. Because there's a lot of guys that can do our position.
That's what I mean.
And you also have to do all those things.
It's subjective. You can't tell me that Walter Payton, everybody's going to say that Walter Payton's awesome. Period. Nobody, no matter what team you like, they're not going to go, no, Walter Payton sucked. It's clear that Walter Payton was awesome. And everybody agrees on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's in music subjective. Somebody can go, I like Metallica. Well, I don't because it's subjective.
Even though we all know Metallica is fucking killer, somebody might not like it.
Right. Some dumb asshole that doesn't know shit about music might not
Right.
like it.
What's with guys hating on Cliff Burton?
Who's hating on
What's
Cliff
with
Burton?
that?
Who
I
did that?
I see that a lot. People
Who did that?
I haven't seen that at all.
Like Cliff. Oh, I have lots.
You
Cliff
must be talking.
Burton's,
It must be
Cliff
Chris
Burton's
Irving. Chris Irving must not like him.
No, it's not. Worm. Worm loves Cliff Burton.
Does he?
It's not Worm. It's
Cliff Burton, man.
don't tell me where. I can't tell you where I've seen it, but and
Well,
and
there's
sorry
just
about
there's
that,
just
but
some instruments that probably shouldn't have solos. You know what I mean? One of them's a bass.
The other one's the drums.
I gotta disagree. Man.
I gotta disagree with the drums thing. I love drum solos.
Both bass deserve solos.
I love busted
What- what's a
Eric's
bass-
balls.
You know what I mean? What's so cool about that?
That's just cool, man. Have you ever heard like Vic Wooten play a bass solo, dude?
Oh, Victor Wooten.
Don't give a shit about bass solos for some
No?
reason. I
Yeah.
guess I haven't heard one yet that's impressed me.
Have you heard Vic Wooten?
I've heard some amazing bass players.
And he's not even like,
Dude, you went to Kindred Priest wedding?
reception tonight.
Reception.
Yes.
That motherfucker.
sure did.
That motherfucker could play bass.
Can he not?
Dude, I remember I saw him playing, first time I ever saw him, I was like, that's one of them dudes right there that needs to go be a session bass player in the big time.
He does.
Because he's just got it. He can
does,
play a
man.
bass like a motherfucker.
He's in the pocket better
He's
than
got
anybody.
it.
Yep.
Great bass
He
player.
is, man.
So,
Love Casey. He's a good guy.
yeah, but what the fuck is he doing having a wedding on the weekend? It's bullshit. Listen, I got
Friday night.
It was
Listen,
his
I got-
reception
That's
tonight.
goofy.
Just the reception.
All right, I
tonight.
got to tell you, a lot of this is jokes, guys. This is just goofs here.
Right.
But God damn it. I've had enough of, we're all grown adults and we try to find weekends that we can do shit with each other and stuff. And it's always lately, we got a wedding to go to. Every dude that I know has had a wedding. And it's like,
Tomorrow, right?
listen,
I was at one last weekend. I was in one last weekend.
there's nothing worse
I gotta go in tomorrow.
than fucking having weddings on a Saturday. You know what I mean? Your weekend's here, you worked all week, now your whole weekend's fucked because some buddy of yours wants to fucking tie down the piece of ass he's got or whatever and have a wedding. Now all of us got to fucking waste our weekend to come fucking watch you get married.
And not to mention, some people got to give up the Friday night before for the rehearsal.
Right. Then you got to buy a gift and
Right,
shit.
rent your tux.
The whole weekend's fucked. You know what I mean? Thanks, buttholes. Have them on Monday. So we can like take off of work and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a wedding.
I don't want to call off work Friday on Friday and go to your rehearsal.
I got married on a Monday.
Quit being buttholes. There's a way to do shit. You don't do your wedding on Saturday.
Got married on a Monday.
Really?
Good for you, Dusty. I like people like you.
Thanks, buddy.
Because I'd had to take the day off of work to come to it.
We went to Hawaii.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. That don't count. Nobody had. None of us got to go to Hawaii to your wedding.
You ain't got to be there.
I love it when people do that. They're like, "Hey, we're getting married in the Bahamas. We'd like you guys to come. My tickets are going to be $700 a piece. And
$2,500 trip.
And it's Saturday.
Don't forget to bring our gift. We'll see you there.
You asshole! Quit being an asshole." We all get married on the weekends for some reason, but I'm just saying it's always like, really? God damn it. Now my whole weekend is that. And then you call your buddies, you're like, dude, you want to go do this? And this is happening. Got a wedding, man. It's never no, dude, I'm part of this great thing. It's called a wedding. I'm going to have it. I've been looking forward to it forever. But even the guys that are getting married aren't really looking forward to it that much. You know what I mean? Or am I wrong?
They can't wait for it to be over.
I mean, I was happy to get married. I mean, I love my wife, but we don't look at that as the same as what women see
they
that.
do.
Yeah. It's like...
Yep. But there are certain friends of mine, like all the guys in the band and a few more friends, that I don't look at it that way. You know, it's like, that's your day. I'll be there. I got your back.
Don't hug your brothers. Listen, if they have it on a Saturday, try to talk them into having it on a Monday. Don't fuck around here, man. Is this Mike or is this Mark?
That's Mike.
Okay. Mike's back again?
Yeah, Mike's back. Look it, he's got a water.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Feed him some candy and Mountain Dew and see what happens. Totally different than the alcohol.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Well, because I wanted to, you guys realize that when I recorded my records for my bands, we were on, reel to reel. Remember that? You ever heard of that before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Pipe they record.
Because you young strapping young lads are all digital now with your Pro Tools and shit.
I've recorded reel to reel many times.
Okay.
Many times.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Did you ever have
a matter of fact, the company was recorded on reel. The drums were recorded on reel to reel.
Was it really?
Well, I was ADAT, but same thing.
Yeah, it's tape.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's ADAT tape.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of fair.
Marianas recorded reel to reel though.
Yeah, because
Travis and
Jason,
Paris. Travis wouldn't do it any other way. He'd have it he's one of them.
The Paris brothers,
real
purists.
Did it in their basement. Yeah.
Travis.
I don't know.
Travis reminds me of one of them dudes that, like, if you wanted to have like a police siren in your song, you wouldn't just go download some sample of it on the internet. He'd like actually go get arrested so he could record the sirens or something. That was real, man. That was we brought the reel to reels outside, and I started peeing out in the middle of the street until the cops came, and we got the siren sound.
That's authentic. That Doppler effect is real. That really happened.
Crazy fucker.
Awesome.
Yeah. Should we listen to somebody else's music? There's got to be some bands that need to be played, right?
Well, yeah, I was planning on playing some of them. This one right here. We'll play Perma Smile. I've been hearing about Perma Smile in the scene a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
And they sent me a couple tunes to play, and check it out, man.
Yes.
All right, man.
Jimmy Page, relax and enjoy.
that was Perma Smile. That song was called Rockstar. It's kind of a poppy song.
You guys, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that was
Kind of a poppy vibe there.
polished up and
yeah, it was really good. I mean, I don't hear that style around here very often.
Yeah.
Me neither, man.
It's really
That's-
good.
Yeah,
Going out on a ledge there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
So,
they're
ma-
getting it, man. Those guys got that.
Yeah. So we're looking at what is it? Almost 11:52 yet? What's going on here?
No,
It's 11:48.
Can't shoot. man.
11:48.
What are we gonna do at 11:52?
We're gonna end this damn show.
Are we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been
That's
talking for a
cool.
long time. Yeah, I know the time flies by, man. When you get going on a
I feel like
subject.
we never really got down to the nitty gritty.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Bring it up. Come on.
Something nitty and gritty. What's nitty and gritty?
Something nitty and gritty.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you one thing right now.
Let's put this thing down in true fashion. Let's
Let's
get after it.
Let's get after this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Let's really go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's
All
get-
right.
Let's get real.
I'll
You
put
really
my
wanna
drink
get rid-
down. I'll put my drink down. Let's do it.
Let's get real, Brian Miner.
All right.
Take us there.
All right. What did you vote for Obama?
No.
No. Did you vote at all?
Yeah.
You did.
Absolutely.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I voted.
No, I don't vote. Fuck it. It ain't gonna
I
change
did.
nothing.
I did vote, but
Not in Illinois.
but not for him, and not for the other guy either.
For some reason, it makes me feel like it doesn't matter who gets in office. The shit's gonna happen. I think the dude's a figurehead. I think that once they get in there, they just kind of tell them how it's gonna go, and they're just supposed to
Who's they though?
speak the words.
Who's they?
Because it ain't us.
That's what I mean. I don't think that we're supposed to know who the they are. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's just
Yeah.
it kind of makes it more beautiful.
Probably
That way, as long as I can still have like Captain Crunch and tacos and do whatever I want this way and have sex
Tacos are
with
good.
my wife and have a family and everybody can be healthy. I don't care what's going on behind the scenes. We're already slaves. We're all slaves already. The only way to get out of it is to become a fucking rock star, and that's what we're all trying to do so that we can stop being slaves. But
that opens up a whole nother can. Because to be a rock star, we would probably
Have to
be a slave to a record company.
well, everybody's a slave to something. You know what I mean? But I'd rather be a slave to the grind.
Hey, you're outside my window,
Dude, it took you 3 hours to lead us to that? Man!
No, we all know that.
That was the money shot. Right there.
At the end of the day, we want to fucking all be special. You know what I mean? We want,
Yeah.
you know, and I could see it when I'm listening to your music and you guys are listening to it and your heads are doing this and you guys are looking at each other like winking and fucking nut hugging each other. That's a bro, man. I know what that is. I had that with my band. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. And when you get enough energy in that, it has to go somewhere and it's going to spread because you already see it when you're playing. The people singing the words back to you.
Yeah.
You know how lucky you are for that? I've been there too. There's not too many bands that get that. A lot of these bands come out and they play their songs and people, I don't really like it, but they act like they do.
Like, who's on next?
It
Right,
was weird
yeah.
when it first started happening. Like, it was weird, man.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really cool thing.
It is cool.
You know, on a regular night, how many people would pay $10 to come in and see you play?
100 people.
100?
Maybe.
Okay, sorry, I cracked right there. I just went through puberty.
It's cool, man.
Live on the air.
maybe 20 people.
Right.
So like, you think 100 people would pay $10?
20 people would pay $10.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
And that's basically what it is. You know,
I'd pay
I'm
$10,
kidding, man.
but you'd have to do all the backups and everything. And if you didn't, I wouldn't pay $10 again. I'm just be honest. I'd pay $5
but you don't ever have to pay.
because I just go out to my car and play the record, and just look at pictures of you guys. It'd be like way better.
So Brian has made his point clear.
So
He wants to start working with me on my vocals. Chris. It's still very, very hard for me to actually do both at the same time.
Can Mark sing backups?
No. Mark drinks.
Okay.
Mark drinks.
And gets fired from bands?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mark breaks bands up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think I might have
I'm
somebody
the
in me.
first guy that gets warned at the shows. Hey,
I think I'm
don't
Mark
drink
too.
too much.
Yeah. Put that down.
Yeah.
I've
Yo,
been-
hey, what are you drinking? Red Bull vodka. Stop.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm marked too.
We used to live by a 1 drink an hour policy.
We still do. We still at shows. At shows we do. Except for when we're playing at Rascals.
Do we?
Because it lets us drink for free.
Except for...
And we drink for free.
Okay, so he likes to drink. Lead guitar player. I mean, it fits. You know what I mean?
You know?
Yeah. So
we all like to drink. Well,
no, really?
Eric doesn't drink too
Eric
much.
will drink the appropriate drink.
Yeah.
I mean, he likes
care.
his own stuff, man. He don't like to drink beer.
He's got a hard job though.
Yep.
He does.
I always used to just I'd have a saltine and a bit of tea before the set, and that should be.
And you would actually put that in your vagina?
Yeah, I actually kept that in my
impressive.
vagina.
I mean, those saltines they're rough, man.
Oh man, you guys,
you got him.
Bam,
you got him.
3 hours it took me to set that up.
You guys, yeah, drinking is something that I'm very aware of. I've oh man, it's too much.
I don't know though.
Tequila's the devil. Tequila.
Do you feel like and you can fool yourself, but do you feel like that you're
better?
I don't know if singing better, but are you controlling the crowd better?
Let's put it this way. I have been in the zone on stage fronting my band and just saying whatever I want to say and thinking, man, this is killer. You know what I mean? And then I go home, go to bed, and like about 5 o'clock in the morning, I sit straight up in bed and go,
what did I do?
Shit, I said that?
What did I say?
Oh my God, it's horrible.
He does the same shit
every show.
That's actually why I kind of was looking. I was like, I can't do this anymore because I bother it takes me until like Monday afternoon to finally feel right again. You know what I mean? I can't believe I did that. You know?
Yeah.
Up there doing shots of whiskey and.
There's some nights where that doesn't happen.
Let me give you an example. One time I was on stage at the Purgatory. Okay, so we're downtown Davenport, little tiny bar. I'm playing in the '80s tribute band. Okay,
that's
Bettendorf. I'm sorry, Bettendorf. I got my super tight pants on, my belly hanging over, my muffin top sticking out, shirt crooked, drunk, fucking hair all stuck to my face. Okay, cross-eyed probably a little bit, drunk, up there trying to sing Bon Jovi, and I'm like, oh yeah, and everybody's like packed in there and shit. And I said, hey yeah, man, how many of you guys, you're in the shower, right, and you're drying off, and you find a hair in your butt crack, and you pull on it and realize it was up your butthole, and it's like, and then you're like, that feeling, you're like, that feeling when you're like, oh.
Crickets.
How did you segue from that, man?
And all I want to know. And nobody, and it's like, and then my wife going, oh God damn it.
You just see her walking out.
Oh, shit. And I tried to act like the shit didn't happen. It didn't go exactly like that, but that conversation came out of me somehow. Oh. And trust me, at 5 o'clock, sat straight up in bed and went, oh my God. That's what's funny about it, because then the whole rest of the band was like, yeah, that was 99% of the time. 99% of the time you were right on, Brian, but you took a chance there. You have to sometimes, though. You just have to like test that boundary and see where everybody's at.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, I know where you're coming from. I got that. My wife's got long hair. It's in my laundry. It gets stuck.
You
gets
know
stuck all the time. Like something tickling. I reach back there and pull on it. It's a big old long hair. I mean, I get it. I understand, but I won't talk about that in front of people when I'm playing a show.
You just did. Ain't
nobody here.
Yeah, but I would get them to where it actually felt like it was there, and then you're like, hey, yeah, wow. That's impressive. And a little hair. It's like, yeah, that got a little too worked up there. That got a little too worked up there.
Wow. I want to know who put it there. What? Don't point at me.
You trying to ask me where I get long hairs at?
No. I want to know who put it up there.
Yeah, when you're a long-haired guy and you've had your long hair this long, Dusty, you remember having long hair.
I remember, yeah.
And
there was a time.
You get them in your socks, wrapped around your toes and shit somehow, and you're like, fuck, something feels weird in my sock, and there's like a hair wrapped around your toe, and you're like pulling it out. You just get them in weird places.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes up your butthole.
Sometimes. Apparently.
And it's appropriate to talk about it.
Absolutely. This is Minor Disturbance Radio, man. We don't fuck around here.
See, now, This is what I've been talking about.
This is the real
We're
deal.
Nitty-Gritty. We're Nitty-Gritty.
The show went off the rails, but I've always wanted to have you guys in here and just kind of chat like this. It's a good time, because I consider you guys friends of mine. So, you know what? I was actually thinking we're getting to the point where we might move the podcast somewhere else.
Yeah.
And actually get another room that's bigger and all that. So
have you ever thought about doing remote stuff? Like maybe from our CD release party? I don't know.
I would do that.
Just an idea.
I would absolutely love to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm just about to pick up.
I think that's Mike's idea, actually.
Where are you going to do it at? Rascals?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that works out because Rascals is a sponsor. So.
Perfect.
Yep. Rascals and Minor Disturbance Radio would work together and promote the shit out of it. See, here's the idea. This is what's cool is like, this is my band right now in a way. This is my 1152. This is me using whatever I think that I have to offer people besides playing guitar and singing. This is what I have to offer people. And I'm in the same place you guys were, guerrilla, grassroots shit that I've got to spread the word. And people are either going to like to hear this show or they're not, and it's hard to get people to go out of their way when they could be fucking looking at tits. I mean, if you give somebody the internet and they're going to take the time to watch a show like this for an hour and a half, that takes like-minded people. When there's so much, how it is on the internet, people are looking for the next thing right now. No, they don't have the time for that shit. So the people that do take the time to actually watch the show, I feel so fortunate for that. Them are the guys that you're talking about that are singing the words back to you. That's kind of the feeling I get, the people that watch the shows all the time. You know what I mean? I like that. Yeah. And, so I'm trying to build this thing. And if we could get this thing, together, if we all kept talking about it and said, this is a cool idea and we like it and told their friends about it, we could get a lot more views on here and a lot more listeners. And then when we play stuff, that, it's going to be heard. This should be the place that people come. So that's what I'm trying to do. This is grassroots. So I'm just hoping everybody shares the videos and they enjoy this situation of, what we're doing here. And, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have a little bit of fun and get some exposure for guys like you. And,
we appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
What you were just saying makes me want to ask you, like, what's your plan? Where do you see MDR, or where do you see yourself?
I just wish that I had a little bit more of a platform, because like I said, I'm not famous, I'm not anything special, I haven't made it, so I don't come from an angle of, hey, this guy's, Nikki Sixx has a podcast, all these famous dudes, Joe Rogan, all these dudes that have a platform for it. I'm just some butthole from Davenport trying to get the Quad Cities. Maybe if I told myself when I started this, I said, I'm going to put this video up. We're all vulnerable. It's like putting your music out, playing your music for a room of people. All of a sudden on Facebook, there was something called Minor Disturbance Radio. And there was this big file that was 3 hours long. And it said, MDR, Minor Disturbance Radio with 3 Years Hollow. And I put the page up and I had 5 likes or something like that. My mom, my grandmother, and my wife, and and me. And then pretty soon, here I am just putting that out there, waiting for everybody to kind of laugh at it or write it off or push it aside and whatever. And then I just kept at it, doing the episodes, and pretty soon I saw that, well, wow, there's, in 24 hours, like 100 people watched it. And anymore, to get a view on a video on YouTube, like if your video's hour long, they have to watch it for like 5 minutes. They can't, like on your video, the music videos that are 3 or 4 minutes long, it takes them 10 seconds and it gets a view. Boom. Mine, if you just click on it for a second, shut it back off, it doesn't count. If you do it on your phone, it don't count. It counts if people actually go watch it on the YouTube channel.
What, really?
Yeah. So, well, and off of Facebook, any link that's like that. But sometimes the phones don't count. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I was really surprised to see how many people actually took the time to click on it and watch it. And then it's slowly growing, and I'm realizing that this is something much like 1152 that didn't immediately just everybody recognized and loved. It took time and you had to earn it. You know what I mean? And I want my listeners to be people that are proud of it, that they listen to it and they have, I want people to be proud of being part of this show with me.
Almost embedded in it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And then pretty soon people will probably listen to it just because other cool people are listening to it. You know what I mean? And that's fine with me.
Yeah. That'd be fine with me too.
Yeah, absolutely. So in other words, I'm happy with what I've done. I mean, I'd really love to do this for a living. I'd love to have this be my job where I just sat and talked to friends and laugh and shit, but that's not realistic at this point, and it's just fun for me to do. But
so, can I ask you another?
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, I just the same question applies to he and I. But what would your opinion be on? Like, would you see our band in
2 years?
2 years, yeah,
Boy,
5 years.
That's tough because it's such a volatile thing. Because all it would take is for
because you've heard what we're about to put out. You've heard some of it.
That's only 10.
What do you think?
Oh, I love it.
I guess that's what I'm getting at.
I
What do you
love
think?
it. I love it. I love it. It's.
I just like hearing that.
That's what
Could
I
you say it
dig.
one more time, please?
Hey, you guys, you're getting there.
Damn it!
You're getting I think it's quality stuff. I've told you that. I've told you that before. I wouldn't just blow smoke up your ass. I mean,
Right on.
I'm pretty hard to please when it comes to that kind of stuff, and you guys, we're right there with it. I've always respected you. Like, ever since Mariana, it's all that stuff. I knew that was Travis, but
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so it's constantly on my mind. If people are gonna really like it, are people gonna want to sing along to it? Are people gonna think that Mike's guitar solo is the best one that they've heard in recent years, or what I'm saying? Like, is Eric's ideas on drums gonna blow people's mind? Because I think they are, but it's weird when you play it for someone and they hear it for the first couple times.
it all comes back to how does it make you feel? Okay, because that's how a listener hears music. They don't hear music as mind-blowing solos and
some people do, though.
But Dusty, you're selling your record to, if you want to be successful, you're selling a record to the masses. You're not selling records to like-minded musicians that are, into playing in bands and stuff. You got to sell it to their girlfriends too. Okay? To be that big. To be on top of everything. You can't just sell it to your buddies that like that kind of music. You have to be able to sell it to them and all their girlfriends somehow. You guys, I see you guys being a good niche band because you aren't willing to change your format. Okay? And I don't want you to.
We won't.
Because that's where I keep coming back to earning being an 1152 fan. I don't see it hitting right now. I see it slowly building but not stopping. And you got to keep at it. You guys got to look at this record as the next in a bunch.
But that's why I wanted to ask you that. It's because
I don't know. Well, you don't think that you wrote a pop record, do you?
And no.
Yeah. You guys know
the first one's way more poppy than this one.
You guys know that any band that's playing distorted guitars is already fighting an uphill battle as far as making it as a musician.
Yep.
What you were talking about earlier were that music that was at critical mass. It all sounds exactly the fucking same. Right?
Yeah.
And it has the same look, and it has the same.
Man. It drives me nuts. Yeah. I'm so tired of that.
Just watching videos with my wife last night. I wouldn't let her watch. I just played the video and I said, "Tell me who it is." She couldn't. She's like, "I don't know. Is it Seether? Is it Hinder? Is it Pop Evil? Who is it?"
It's the end of the 80s again.
Don't fucking know. You can't tell me who it is.
It's 1988.
It all sounds the same.
It's 1988, 1989.
Yep.
When there was like Firehouse and Slaughter and Jackal and Mr. Big, and granted they all had their cool things, but after a while they had all done it, and it was all the same thing. It's now everything is Nickelback. Everything is Seether. Everything is 3 Days Grace. Everything is that same sound.
So you've almost got to be true to the music. You got to be willing to make music just for you guys and not worry about the rest and not worry about making it. Because I think that's what you're asking me about, is you think that we're going to make it. That's what we're all asking, right?
Not necessarily, no. I don't think so, no. Just
what do you want out of it? At the end of the day,
I want people to like it.
Yeah.
And yep. I don't
well,
know
you've already done that. I like it.
Making it,
you want a lot of people to like it.
Yes.
Yeah, and we want a lot.
Honestly, I do. Yeah, honestly.
And so that you can say to yourself that I did something that affected this many people. Is that what you want out of it?
Yeah, I think so.
Then you're going to get everything that you've ever wanted in this.
I think so.
Are you going to make $1 million doing this? Odds are stacked against you.
Yeah,
and
they really are.
It's stacked against 3 Years Hollow too. I'm not going to lie to you. Them guys are getting signed. They got signed and everything. They still have a lot of work to do. Have you heard of the band Bleeding Through?
No.
Okay, well, they're a band that's been on the road for years and years, put out records. People are like, they're so underrated, this and that. These guys have been touring, they're playing on big stages and doing all that stuff, and are signed. And they live in their cars at truck stops on their tour. They don't have any money. Yeah. They're still fighting this game. You know what I mean?
I heard on the radio today, what's the touch peel standard, touch
Days
stand?
of the New?
Yeah, and you know, that song still gets played today, but that dude's broke, right? I mean,
as a motherfucker.
He didn't make any money.
Travis Minks, yeah,
he made nothing. I mean, that's a common tale, you know.
Travis
Songs
Minks.
still get played today.
Yeah.
Well, but
he was 18 years old touring with Metallica.
But all the tools are in you guys' lap right now. I mean, if you put out your record on your own and you got 1 million people to like one song on it, well, then you guys are all splitting $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, or if you can get, you know what I'm saying? So this is a different age right now. You could literally make a lot of money doing it, but you'd have to make a big fucking stir, because it's not like it was in my day where there was 8 big bands and that's all you knew about. There's 800,000 bands that everybody knows about. So it's oversaturation, and to get through that's a fucking maze right there.
Yep, it is.
It is.
It is. And that's why you kind of, I think anyway, that you just kind of got to forget about that and just hope that
do what you do.
That people
do what you do and stay true to what you
catch on to, you know, the way we feel when we're on stage putting it out there.
Sure. I get it, man.
That's that feeling that we all go for. You go for it every time you're on stage.
Absolutely.
Every musician that's going to hear this broadcast goes for that feeling when they're on stage, and that's what we're doing. And you want people who maybe aren't musicians, or your peers who are musicians standing there watching you, to get that feeling by you projecting it out to them, by you being the guy who is on the stage, giving them that feeling, not them creating that feeling, but you giving it to them.
I had
to me that's the whole thing right there.
I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast all the time. And
Joe Rogan?
I love that guy.
Put out the light.
I think he's brilliant. Anyway, he's got a podcast I listen to all day, and he talked about performing like that. And he said it doesn't matter. Musician, he's a stand-up comic, so he does that, and he's on stage. And he said when he's in his groove and when he really knows he has command of that room, and he's got him. He's got a room full of 300 people that are just hanging on everything and laughing at everything he says, and they, all. He said, what you've got to do is you've got to learn how to step aside and realize that has nothing to do with you. You're channeling something that's coming through you. You're the instrument that's being played. You're not playing it when you're really in that groove. And when you step aside and lose the ego and say, I'm just taking in whatever this muse is that's coming through me. I'm not more special than you. I'm no better than anybody. But for some reason, I can pull this out of the air and it comes through me, and I'm the antenna for it, rather than I'm the creator of it. Because that's how you can say you lack ego. Then you get rid of your ego and realize it has nothing to do with you, especially as a person. It's just you guys as a group somehow channel some sort of energy, and you can put it out. And that's stoner talk, I know, but once you can do that and realize that you're lucky to have the components and the energy there, then it's all gonna happen on its own, is what I'm saying. You can't force that. You can't force that shit. Because as soon as you start to think that it's you and you can do it, that's where you're already missing one oar. So it's all about the band and channeling whatever that is that you guys channel. Be the antenna. Let it happen freely.
2 oars.
There you go.
Don't go in circles.
Exactly. So, but man, on that note, I don't know. You guys think we should hang it up?
That was a good note to end on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Anyway, thanks for co-hosting the show with me tonight, guys.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, I hope to have you back. Yeah. We'll get the whole band in here, and we'll really talk about some 1152 stuff, and it won't be so spread out here.
You need to get Eric Flores in here.
Yeah.
You've had 3 of us.
Yeah.
Steve last time.
Well, and Mark was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
honorary
3 and a half of us. So yeah, I think you should do Eric Flores only. You should do like a drummer special. Maybe your Christmas specials. You should just feature all drummers.
Can I be honest? I like Mark better than Mike.
Most people do. I know the ladies do.
Did you see the quick dismissal the drummer episode?
Yeah,
he's like, so
yeah, you can host that one, Dusty.
I know, thanks. Man.
Yeah,
but thanks, guys, man. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us. This is great times.
All right, thanks.